If you're running production workloads in OpenShift, this particular video is for you. Hi, Kunal here, DevRel Engineer at Randoli. In this particular demo, I'm quickly going to walk you through how you can install the Randoli Agent in your OpenShift cluster so you can get started with monitoring your infrastructure and your applications running on OpenShift using Randoli. Let's get started. To keep this demo short, I've already gone ahead and connected to an OpenShift cluster. If I do kubectl get nodes, you can see we have a very basic OpenShift cluster where we have 3 control plane nodes and 3 worker nodes which are running. The next step would be to adding a new OpenShift cluster in the Randoli UI and getting the relevant credentials. So you can log into the Randoli dashboard and head over to the clusters page. Here we can click on connect cluster. We can give the cluster a relevant name. In this particular case, I can say OpenShift demo. From the Kubernetes distribution dropdown, we can select OpenShift. You have the option to give any relevant tags if you wish to, but in this particular case, let's leave it as empty. And then click on create cluster. Now, once the cluster is created on the UI, we'll follow the direct instructions which are given on screen. So we can download the credentials file, and then we can create a new namespace called as Randoli Agents and create the secrets using the credentials file. So I'll just directly copy and paste this particular command. So the namespace has been created. We can say kubectl create -f and we'll give the location of the credentials file, which is in my downloads folder. So the secrets has been created. To do a quick verification, we can say kubectl get ns. And here you can see the Randoli agents namespace has been created. With this, we can quickly verify the secrets as well. So we can do kubectl get secrets -n Randoli agents, and we can see the 2 secrets have been created. Now, till this point, we have correctly configured the authentication which the operator and the agent will use to communicate with the Randoli platform. Now, in order to deploy and manage the Randoli agent in our cluster, we'll install the official Randoli agent operator from the OpenShift operator hub. So this is the dashboard for my OpenShift cluster. I can head over to the operators, click on operator hub. In the search bar, we can type Randoli, and here you will find the certified Randoli agent operator, which is purposefully built for OpenShift clusters. Now, this particular operator will install the agent with customized defaults and permissions which are required to run properly on an OpenShift cluster. Make sure that you're selecting the latest version. Currently, as of this recording, the latest version is 1.17.2-1, and we can go ahead and click on install. Here we leave all the default configurations and we'll just click on install. So this will install the Randoli agent operator for our OpenShift cluster. Right, so the agent operator has been installed. We can quickly verify this by clicking on view operator. And here we can find more details about this particular operator. But the important part right now is that the operator has been successfully installed. Now, because Randoli is OpenTelemetry native, the agent relies on OpenTelemetry for a number of features. If OpenTelemetry is not installed in your cluster, we recommend to install the Red Hat build of OpenTelemetry, which is already provided by Red Hat. So coming back to the operators hub page, we can search for OpenTelemetry. And here you'll find the Red Hat build of OpenTelemetry, which basically will configure all the OpenTelemetry related permissions in your cluster, which later the Randoli agent can seamlessly use to collect the relevant telemetry data. So here we can click on the install button. Again, we'll keep all the default settings. Make sure that you are on the latest version. Currently, as of this recording, the latest version is 0.127.0-2. So I'll just hit the install button. This will install the OpenTelemetry operator as well. One of the last dependencies that we need to install in order to properly configure the Randoli agent is Network Observability. The agent relies on this to capture network level data from your cluster. So let's go ahead and set this up using the operator provided by Red Hat. So in the operators hub page, we can go ahead and search Network Observability. And you can see we have the Network Observability operator that deploys a monitoring pipeline, which consists of an eBPF agent, flow logs pipeline, and a console plugin for flows visualization with powerful filtering options. Once this is configured, you'll be able to take the full advantage of all of these features in the Randoli UI. Keeping all the default options, we can click on install. Again, we'll keep all the default options and make sure you are installing the latest version. At the time of recording, it is 1.9.1. and we'll click on install. Now there is one last dependency that the net observe operator needs to run, which is the flow collector. This is basically a custom resource which is required to capture the traffic flow. To keep things simple, you can go ahead to our documentation page for Red Hat OpenShift and find the flow collector custom resource YAML, which you can directly apply in your cluster in the net observe namespace. So let's do that. So first we can create a new namespace for net observe. I can write kubectl create ns net observe. I have all the configuration for the flow collector in flow collector.yaml, as you can see right here. One important thing to note here is that if you are using the recommended custom OpenTelemetry collector by Randoli, make sure the OpenTelemetry exporter in the flow collector YAML points towards the Randoli agents where Randoli's OpenTelemetry collector has been deployed. If everything looks good, we can go ahead and write kubectl create -f flow collector.yaml, which will create the flow collector's custom resource in the net observe namespace. Now we can quickly verify the status of the network observability operator and the flow collector by heading over to the installed operators page. And here we can select network observability. Here we can click on flow collector. And as you can see, the status of the flow collector is ready. That means the collector has been successfully deployed. With all the prerequisite operators installed, we can now go ahead and create a new Randoli agents instance. So we can go ahead in the Randoli agent operator. And here we can head over to the Randoli agent tab and click on create Randoli agent. Now here, based on the solutions that you are trying out, you can go ahead and select the relevant option from the particular list. In this case, I am only selecting the observability, which will enable and install all the observability related components with my agent. Once the option is selected, we'll switch to the YAML view. And here, instead of OpenShift net observe operator namespace, we'll go ahead and change this to Randoli agents, which is the default namespace for all the Randoli agents related components. Once this is changed, we can click on the create button. And this will create the Randoli agent instance inside our cluster, which when successfully deployed, will install all the necessary observability components in order to visualize and get the insights on the Randoli UI. Now, the agent installation typically will take around 2 to 5 minutes, depending on the product that you have selected during the configuration. We can go ahead and check the status in our cluster as well. So we can do kubectl get pods -n Randoli agents. And as you can see that all the components plus the Randoli agent is running, and that means everything has been correctly configured. And now we can go ahead on the Randoli UI, click on the clusters page. And as you can see, our OpenShift demo cluster has been connected via the Randoli agent. Now, if you also wish to try out the cost solution alongside observability, there are 2 extra steps that you need to do. The first one is to enable the cost management tag inside our agent configuration. So you can go ahead to the Randoli agent instance. And here in the select product section, we can enable the cost management tag and click on confirm change. This will enable and install all the cost related components inside the Randoli agents namespace. The second component you need to install is the vertical pod autoscaler, which is required for a number of cost related features. If the VPA is not already installed in your cluster, you can head over to the operators hub on the console and type VPA. And here you'll find the official vertical pod autoscaler operator, which is provided by Red Hat. You can go ahead and install in your cluster, and you'll be able to use the cost solution alongside observability as well. And that's the end. Your OpenShift cluster is now connected to Randoli with full observability enabled. And now you can go ahead and try out the different features to build a robust monitoring and troubleshooting workflow for your infrastructure and your applications. For more details and a written version of this, you can go ahead and check out our documentation. You'll find the link somewhere below. Thank you for watching.